Okay, so the Xiaomi Mi Pad 5 Pro is not an alternative to an iPad Pro. Let's address this. All right, so as you can see there, I wanted to address this video starting off with what's going to be the heart of this video. The topic of this being the replacement to this. It is not the case. I know some of you are going to disagree because I have seen quite a few comments from people saying that this is a nice alternative to the iPad Pro. Now, the reason I'm saying it's not an alternative or a replacement to the iPad Pro is because this thing is kind of unique to its platform. It has its own platform. In fact, when I do comparison videos of the iPad Pro versus the Galaxy Tab S7, these are not really apple to apple, no pun intended there. These are not really apple to apple comparisons, right? Because these are two separate platforms, and these things, well, each of them is really good, at whatever it does best. The iPad Pro, with the horsepower that it has, it's really good at that. The Galaxy Tab S7 that I have here, this is my regular one. The Galaxy Tab S7 that I have here is also good at its own things. And I've told you guys, this is kind of like the king of multitasking. This guy, the iPad Pro, doesn't even compare to the Galaxy Tab S7 when it comes down to multitasking. On the other hand, the Galaxy Tab S7 or the Tab S7 Plus that you see back there doesn't come close to what this guy has to offer in terms of horsepower. So the iPad Pro seems to be very, very good when it comes to very specific and tailored tasks. If you editing and rendering 4K videos, very heavy projects that demand that type of, those 8 cores to come in and really power through it, your iPad Pro is going to be the guy. Now, don't get me wrong, the Xiaomi Mi Pad 5 Pro here is a powerful tablet. I was first very impressed by the design. When this tablet was first announced, I knew that, based off of the specs, it was going to be a really, really powerful tablet, but I just wasn't sure about the design. So as soon as I touched it and I held it, I was like, well, this is actually, a pro tablet. It feels like a pro tablet. So I was very impressed by the design, just like so far. And I haven't made my full review on this thing. And so far, I'm pretty impressed by just the performance of this guy. Now, that being said, you cannot compare these two. In terms of horsepower, again, this guy is way ahead. The heart of this video is that if you happen to be in the market for an iPad Pro and you realize, well, I can't afford an iPad Pro because they're crazy expensive like they are, you realize I can't afford this, and you're looking for a nice alternative, in my personal opinion, it's not this tablet. It's definitely not this tablet. Your alternative to an iPad Pro is going to be, shocker, an iPad Air 4. That is the best advice I can give you if you're looking for an iPad Pro and you figure it's too expensive. Either an iPad Air 4 or an older iPad Pro. In fact, you can even go as low as just a regular iPad. That would be your alternative to the iPad Pro. You have to remember, the iPad Pro is not just about a tablet. Apple sells the whole experience. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting, well, welcome to the family, of course. I'm certainly hoping that you are enjoying the content so far. And if you are, I truly appreciate that. And I would appreciate it even more if you could do me a huge favor and hit both the like and the subscribe button there. I make tons of videos like this one, and it's a good way to tell YouTube that videos like this actually help people out there. Again, I very, very much appreciate that. All right, so they're selling you a whole ecosystem. So to think that you can just find a single tablet, an individual tablet that can replace what this guy has to offer, I think it is a mistake. Because again, when you get something like this, it offers you everything else that ecosystem, that Apple ecosystem has to offer you, which is the reason I'm saying that the only alternative to an iPad Pro is just to go with another iPad that's gonna keep you in that same ecosystem. These things are all the same. The user interface, whether it's the iPad Pro, the iPad Air 4, the iPad, the iPhone, the iPod, all of that, I even call these are just big iPhones or big iPod touches, right? Because the user interface is pretty much the same except here interface. So just go for one of them. Any of them would be a good alternative for this. And this is not meant to be a ranting video. It's just that seeing people commenting, even on Twitter, saying, oh, this tablet here is going to be a nice alternative to an iPad. It's just a nice alternative to another Android tablet. In fact, I would say maybe a nice alternative to the Galaxy Tab S7. I don't know. I would have to actually make a versus video comparing those two. So I would say this is just a nice alternative, another Android tablet. And again, you might notice that I'm not even talking specs here. I really just wanted to talk about this idea of that buying this will immediately replace the experience that you would get from an iPad. Also, you have to consider just that MIUI, right? So granted, and that's the other thing also, this is a very nice tablet, very well built, powerful tablet. I don't like that it copied what Apple is offering on its tablet. And I'm talking about the user interface, the way you unlock the tablet, the way you navigate and all that, the gestures. I really wish they had stuck to something that's a little bit more familiar when it comes down to the way Android looks. Now, again, it might be just because this is my first Xiaomi tablet, but it's weird. It's like I'm, using the interface here. It's as if I'm using an iPad, but it's not an iPad. And in my mind, and this is wrong, but in my mind, it looks like it's just a fake iPad, even though it's a great tablet. But then again, that's another video for another thing. But anyway, this particular video was just to let you know that if you are seriously thinking about buying an iPad Pro and you're thinking a nice alternative or a nice replacement for an iPad Pro, that this guy would offer you everything that the iPad Pro offers, you might be making a mistake. If you really, really want an iPad Pro and you can afford the current version, just go for the previous one or the one before that. They are all the same, except, in terms of power, the M1, like this one, the mini LED, is a lot more powerful. But then again, if you are looking for that type of power because maybe you're a video editor and you need the best video editing tablet out there, then maybe you shouldn't be looking at this, right? It comes down to that. Anyway, and with that being said, I cannot help but go back to the fact that this is a very nice tablet. Very powerful. I like the design. I really like the design. And in case you don't notice, I'm saying very powerful because this guy is loaded with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 870. That is a powerful chipset. You have 120 hertz refresh rate here. It's an IPS display. What you get for the money, for sure, this is a bargain. This is assuming, of course, that they stick to the current prices in China. I believe when you do the direct conversion, the model that I have here, which is the base model, would run you roughly $400. So if you were to spend $400, let's say the global version comes out and it's 450 euros or pretty close to 500 euros, that is still a very good price for something like this if you are in the Android world. Now, if you are looking for an iPad, no matter how well they price this and you actually need an iPad for whatever task you want an iPad for, you're going to have to buy an iPad. It's as simple as that. But anyway, that's just my take. And I know many of you are going to disagree. So let's have a polite conversation. Don't come out there attacking me. I know you're going to disagree, but I want to hear more arguments why people think that this is a direct replacement to the iPad. Now, I can actually listen to an argument of someone saying, well, you know what, the Galaxy Tab S7, I'll probably go for this. And then we could get that back and forth. Then I could tell you that, well, if you buy this, then you have to buy the stylus for it, which is separate. It's going to cost you like a good $90 as opposed to your Galaxy Tab S7 that already comes with a stylus that is renowned for being one of the best stylus. So we could kind of have that argument comparing this one to the Galaxy Tab S7 or to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. But I want to hear your argument. The people who are saying that it's a nice replacement to the iPad Pro, I want to hear your argument. I want to hear why you say that. I may be in the wrong. It's just that when I hear this, I'm like, nah, and I've used this on and off. Granted, it's been sitting a lot more because I use a lot more of my Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, but I really want to hear why you think this guy can replace an iPad Pro. Let me know. Hit me up in the comment section, and while you do that, make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Make sure to like the video, share this with other people that may be disagreeing with me, so we can have that back and forth, going. And I'm gonna catch you in that comment section. I'm also gonna catch you in the next video, as I always do, of course. And up until that next video, stay safe out there.